have come close to that. Please welcome Desert Noises. Let's have another round of applause for these guys. Also, just one question for the audience. I think we need to come up with a cool name for what we do here in the library. Right now it's just music in the library, but it's, something like the Tiny Desk concert, maybe like music at the circulation desk. I don't know. Give it some thought, okay? We'll think about something. Okay, it's a real pleasure for us to have you guys here today. And this is half of Desert Noises. So I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, and then I think, Tyler, we have to address an awkward moment in my life when I was a young teacher and you were my TA.
Sure was.
And in my English class. And so we'll get to that. But first of all, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I am Kyle Henderson.
And I'm Tyler Osmond.
Yeah, we're in a band, Desert Noises.
Mm-hmm.
And we're from Orem.
Yep. Neither of us went here, but
Yeah.
I went to Mountain View.
I went to Timpanogos.
So all the surrounding schools. Hey,
yeah.
don't
we
boo
united
that.
Orem.
What about favorite Thanksgiving food, since that's probably what brought you back into town?
I like green bean casserole, baby. Oh, yeah.
I like stuffing. Homemade stuffing, yeah.
Oh, we can't beat that.
Can't beat
It's
it.
true.
Solid choices.
Worth the
Okay.
flight.
I didn't expect an audience question so early, but let's get to it. Ryder.
How long have you guys been playing?
Us together since 2008?
Yep.
2009?
2009, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
2008 or 9.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay, so great segue into how I first met Tyler Osmond. Were you in my junior English class?
Yep. Junior year.
And then, see, this is a dark time in my life. Did I wear ties back then?
Yes, you did.
I
And you also still ran with the Bulls.
Okay, so at least I had some good stories, but
Yeah.
I was just so earnest, I feel like. It was like I was early in my teaching career, and it was before I had kids myself, so I forgot what was really happening in high school. I thought it was all about the Scarlet Letter and, books and everything. And then Tyler brought some reality to my perspective. Because, okay, this was my kind of impression of you, Tyler. I just saw you as this kid who was putting up with school, but you had all this creativity that didn't really fit the four walls of a classroom.
Yep, that's true. Try to yeah. Yep, definitely. 100%.
If any of you guys are feeling that same way, this should give you hope that you can tap into that creativity during high school a little bit. Let me ask you this, because I didn't know you were musical.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, Tyler, grade these papers and put in the scores.
Yeah.
And were you at the same time, unbeknownst to me, playing in jazz band?
Yep, I was doing jazz band, trumpet, and bass. Well, actually just bass at that point, once I started doing that. And then I stopped doing jazz band after that and just kept playing around town. Played with Kyle's brother before I started playing with Kyle.
Yep.
And then we would all do the high school battle of the bands and play all around, then state championships at Cottonwood High School and stuff like that. But other than that, I ended up graduating high school early and started working crew on a tour and kept playing and came back, joined with Kyle, and then we just started touring, hit the road, and kept playing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the genesis of your kind of music beginnings. Kyle, what about you?
I didn't really pick up a guitar until my last year of high school. I had thought a lot about music and I really liked it, and I started to get really into art when I was in high school, and mostly just listening. And then I decided that it would be good to write my own music. And so I just did it. I think like one of the last days of high school, I like handed out a CD that I had made in GarageBand. My parents had got me a laptop for college, and so I just made this CD and like passed it around. And I just remember being in high school and not really knowing where I was supposed to go with my life in a lot of ways, and I didn't really fit into a lot of different boxes. I kind of like put my foot in this, and then I'd put my foot in this, and then try and try and try. And I think that was the moment I kind of realized, this is like something I'm not afraid to do, or maybe I'm afraid to do it, but the fear keeps me pushing forward through it. So I just kept going with that. And it's a difficult time to be in high school and not know what you're doing. But I think one thing I learned about that was, that I wouldn't trade trying a lot of things, and I wouldn't be afraid. I wish I was less afraid to try more things, and really figure out what I wanted, even though I did that. I think it's an important time in your life to like really just go for it, Like you're never going to have the opportunity again to like really figure things out in a way where you can just kind of like be like, I want to try painting today, or like I want to try hiking this mountain or whatever that is, or like learning about animals, or playing music, doing anything like that, learning about computer things. I don't know, but yeah, I guess I went off on a segment, but yeah.
No, I love that because, I mean, you guys thought it was going to be about the music of Desert Noises. You didn't know you were getting free life advice from these guys. Okay, so.
Well, and you guys are in good hands with these two because, I mean, when I wasn't in class with you, I was in Matt Brown's class. And all through lunch, we would just be in there editing videos or creating new projects and stuff, which down the road helped a lot with creating music videos for our band and Photoshop skills for flyers, posters, album artwork, stuff like that. How that comes in handy down the road is just crazy.
Yeah.
But
one thing that's interesting to me when I find a band that I like is I have a little habit of looking back at their earliest videos. I just love it. I went down a rabbit hole with U2 the other day, and I found them on like Swedish TV, and they're just bringing it. They're just rocking so hard, and then you look out at the audience, and there's these like real proper Swedish people, not even like bobbing a head, just like still as statues. And so you guys have been playing music for a long time, but what was your first time that you guys played live together, and what was that like?
what was our first show?
I feel
Was that Fork Fest?
I
No,
think we
it was
played at
Local
Velour
Natives.
once. Yeah, with Local Natives.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a touring band coming through. I think they're pretty big now, or they were for a while. I don't
They're still
know
putting stuff
how
out,
much popularity there is.
Great
now.
band.
Yeah, big band. But there was maybe like 10 people there at Velour, and we just had the time of our lives,
Mm-hmm.
And both of those bands, ours and theirs now especially, went on to be like really successful bands, which is really interesting that was kind of our first show together.
Mm-hmm. And then we ended up playing with them again years down the road, so things start coming full circle too, because it's not that, it's a small community when it comes to like the touring and that level of bands, I guess, that actually like put it out there to do it.
Yeah. And let's just plug the show tonight. Is it sold out?
I don't think so yet.
Okay,
There's
so
tickets left.
Saturday was sold out at Velour, and it's a 10-year anniversary of which album?
27 Ways.
27 Ways. But for you guys who has a plan on a Monday night, right? Velour, what time does it start tonight?
Doors are at 7:30.
Okay. You really want to go down there and get tickets. Go see them at Velour with the full band.
It'll
And
be significantly louder.
yeah. So that's happening tonight. And as far as like the story of that album, well, first of all, let me ask you guys, what song do you want to play next? And
Should we do it from that one?
Sure.
you know, if I could be introduced a little bit, I want to hear a little bit about the story of. It doesn't have to be this song, but kind of. I listen to some music podcasts, and one that I love is Song Exploder, where you take apart a song and just kind of say, we're going to give the story, the biography of this song. So maybe this one, maybe another one. How did it come to be?
I think just the album in general that we're playing tonight is when we started a band and we decided we were gonna go on tour, we just went on tour and we never really came back.
Nope. We made a fake booking agency and we started emailing and creating routes and hit up every venue we could in that route and started building it from there. And we just never came back.
And so a lot of that was like, we had grown up in this world of Orem, which you guys know, and then we experienced so many different cultures and so many different people really fast. And then we came back and we had time to like reflect on who we were as people, where our relationships had gone, what maybe the future was going to hold, or maybe the things that we were really questioning in our early 20s and mentally and emotionally. And so that album was just about kind of growing up in that.
And traveling and touring. And a lot of the songs were written on the road. So we'd be riding in the van or something, and then that night we'd try it. And then see how it worked, then tweak it, depending on how the crowd would react to it or how we felt about it. And just kept adapting them. And then the whole album was recorded live down in El Paso at Sonic Ranch, an amazing studio down there. And we did that at the end of a tour. We had 5 days before another tour started. And so we just went in and we tracked 18 songs in 5 days. And then finished the rest of that tour and then circled back and started mixing.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
By the year you'll be, by the year you'll cover me. There's a hole inside my head, leaking out the same sense. Talk no tongue, speak clean. Perfect phrase means everything. You're the bloom amongst the weeds. I'm in the shadow slowly choking. Oh, I follow you out again. Follow you out again like I always wanted to. Maybe you will, but I won't. Dancing suit around the joke, still a hole inside my head, leaking out the same sense. Oh, I always wanted to. Always wanted to.
So when you guys play it tonight, how will it be different?
There will be 4 people instead of 2.
And I will play my normal instrument, bass.
It'll be very loud. Still dynamic, but really loud. It's more of a rock band when we play it as a full thing.
So what would be the way that song came to be when you were initially composing?
That song in general has taken so many shapes. It was written probably in 2009, maybe before 2007.
I feel like that one was written for the album before 27 Ways.
Yeah.
That was one of the first ones that we probably made the record,
And then it couldn't fit. It just like something was wrong with it. And then it took all 4 of us that are the band now, or to kind of break it down and digest it individually and let everybody else kind of choose what part needed to happen. Our band was really good at that, I think, which is different than most bands in that everyone. We worked as a team, but everyone kind of came up with their own thing that was theirs to bring to the table. It wasn't you should play this, you should play that. It was kind of like, I think I'm going to play this. What do you guys
It's like,
think?
if you're going to play that, I think I'll play this.
Yeah. So very collaborative. And then finally that song kind of came together, and that's how most of those came together.
But it seems to me like in that collaboration process, everybody wants to add. Who's the person who says, no, we need you to back off a little bit?
During those times, probably no one.
No one. Yeah.
And now probably everyone is that way.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing you learn with age. You know?
And moving to Nashville, honestly. Being around
Being around
very
other
professional
musicians.
players. The hardest thing is to not play. Space is important, and it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been in Nashville?
I've been there for almost 10 years.
Okay. And maybe that's a good lead into a question that I've wanted to ask you, Tyler, and maybe it applies to everybody. Kyle, you have family members who play music, obviously the Osmonds. I've kind of weirdly gotten into vinyl recently, and I'll even pop into Savers and DI, and one thing that's guaranteed is that you can find an Osmonds album in DI, some Mormon Tabernacle, some Osmonds, maybe a few other things. And, I kind of get excited when I see an Osmonds album, and then I open it up, and those things are hammered. I mean, people have loved their Osmonds albums, played them to death. So you've got this musical pedigree, helpful or detrimental?
I mean, very helpful. I mean, for being on stage. Because I grew up also on stage. We had a family theater in Missouri. So I'd bounce back from Utah to Missouri to perform all through the 90s, and then moved back here, 99, 2000, That's when, or moved to Orem in 2002, and that's when I stopped like performing in Branson and stuff and touring. And then went to Orem Junior High. That's when I got my bass, and then just kept playing. And just started just making our own music at that point. So couldn't stop it.
So another, do you guys ever listen to this podcast, Desert Island Discs?
No.
Musicians, other famous people, they're asked by the podcaster, if you're stranded on an island, what 8 songs do you take with you? And they're kind of songs that have influenced you. So you get 8 songs, you get a book, and you get a luxury item. We're not going to talk about books, because Tyler, if you don't choose one from my class, I'm going to be so offended. But we'll talk about songs. And any of those 8, what's a song that influenced you and how?
Oh boy, when? What time frame? I think constantly being influenced by music. Yeah. So that's a really hard question. I can answer the book one.
Go for it.
Yeah, Perks of Being a Wallflower. I remember you had stacks of books in the back of the classroom, and you're like, everyone go and pick a book. There were 2 books of Perks of Being a Wallflower, and no one else picked it. So I picked it, and you're like, I haven't read it either, so I'm going to read it with you. And so then we both read that together, and that was awesome. That's great.
I can't think of a song either, but I could think of a book. Slaughterhouse 5. When I read that by Kurt Vonnegut, or really anything by Kurt Vonnegut, that I was just starting to tour, and it changed my whole perspective on the world.
Are you guys just flattering me because we're in a library?
Maybe there's just like an ambiance,
Yeah. Okay. We might come back to the songs though.
Okay.
Think about the top 8. Yeah. So obviously, the lyrics are literary. I mean, you've got just there's some lines that stand out to me. Under the oak tree has mountains falling into the sea. Who writes the lyrics? Is it collaborative as well, or how does the song part, the lyric part of it, come to be?
For the most part, Kyle.
Yeah, I would write a lot about experiences. Oak Tree is about Utah in a way, and that line was, I think, learning or hearing, I don't even know if this is true, but this is my memory of it, that the ocean used to come up all the way to like these mountain ranges and way, way back. And so the idea was that these are all like moving away, but at one time they were so close together. So like, I was imagining watching those things happen, I guess.
Well, I don't want to be greedy, but I kind of want to hear another song.
Let's play that one.
You, but you don't want me. I see clearly now. I see clearly now that I'm falling for you. But you haven't fallen for me or anybody else like me. But I keep on trying. I keep on trying to reach you now, reach you like you reach me. Meet me by the old oak tree. Watch the mountains falling to the sea. Somewhere along the line I lost my mind that I tried to find. I've been searching for common ground that old oak tree. Watch the mountains falling to the sea. Somewhere along the line I lost my hand that I tried. Lead me by the old oak tree. Watch the mountains falling to the sea. Somewhere along the line I lost my hand that I tried to find. Me by the old oak tree. Watch the mountains falling to the sea. Somewhere along the line I lost my hand that I tried to find.
So good. Thank you. I think one of the reasons that I wanted to do the interview is that Matt, I think, knows your music arguably better than I do, but I just love learning about it by talking with you guys today. As you've played music for all these years together, how has your music changed? Are the inspirations different? Was it, bad breakups and then it's morphed into something else?
Oh, yeah.
From that early album in 2009 to now, what has that trajectory been like?
More breakups. But for real.
Yeah, really.
A lot of breakups. Yeah, I think I think all of us really focused on being honest and telling stories. And I always think that music that I gravitate towards and music that I love feels really honest. I don't know why. It doesn't have to be, it could be instrumental, it could be whatever it is, but it feels true to who's making it. And I think that that's kind of the way we've always looked at music and when we were writing it. And so a lot of those stories now are embarrassing to sing on stage because they were really hard times at the time. And we've grown, but they do bring you back, and there is an honesty in that still, even if you think about it differently today. And so I think, that's kind of where influences come, is more of life and those feelings and any kind of relationship that changes.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned kind of that vulnerability, that rawness, because I think that's definitely a trademark of your music. And are you saying that it's therapeutic, can be, for those who listen to it? I mean, a song like that one, for me, is very impactful emotionally. But are you saying that also that's one of the reasons that you make music, is the therapeutic nature of that?
Totally.
Absolutely.
And it's interpreted differently by every listener. Like, someone can take the lyrics and take it a different way than how it's written. Every person takes it a different way. It's never the same. Yeah, that's really interesting.
I love that, Tyler, because that's very similar to, as an English teacher, the kind of the classics with the capital C that we gravitate toward, is that there's so many layers and can be read in more than one way. And I think that's definitely true with your songs, with your lyrics. There's room to breathe inside those songs. I definitely noticed that. Yeah.
It's really interesting. There's sometimes like people come up, oh, we met at your show and we love this song. We got married to it. It's like, that song's about divorce. But it's like, you know, they took it as like a beautiful love song, you know, or like stuff like that happens all the time. People have gotten tattoos of lyrics, and it's like, that's what you took from it, huh? That's crazy.
Okay, we may have another song if you guys have one, but we also are heading toward questions from the audience. So make sure if you have some questions, kind of gather your thoughts there. We
Sure.
we also kind of have a few other rituals, Kyle and Tyler, just to be thinking about. We have a board that we'd love you to sign, and then also we usually get artists to do a drop for the radio, so that we can introduce your music on KOHS. So we'll kind of get that recorded in a minute here. But as you guys are getting ready to play another song, one question that I think a lot of us are curious about is Nashville life. What's the Nashville life?
It's a good time. I mean, it's just nothing but music. It is the best players ever. You can just walk in anywhere and end up leaving like I need to go home and practice. So a lot of touring bands there. You can get anywhere from there, really. So it's just a big hub. So yeah, and then so being a musician in general, you can play with 15 different bands at one time and just hit different, you know, everyone has weekend runs, they'll do longer runs, but it's a really tight-knit community too of just great players who inspire each other. Yeah.
So I know that this weekend it's the anniversary show for that album, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what's your current project or projects?
I've been out in LA a lot recording, so producing and stuff, a lot of things, and working more on that side of music recently.
Yep, a lot of studio work. That's my main project back there. That's my son Ace. So not touring much lately because I want to be around for the beginning stage of his life. So mostly studio work now. Yeah.
When you say studio work, what does that mean?
Session player, whoever needs some bass on their records. Yeah.
Any names that we would know that you've played on recently?
See, the one I did earlier this year was I've been playing for a band called Heavy Gus, which is some of the members from Lumineers and Blind Pilot. So it's like it's a side band of theirs, and so that was the most recent one I did this year. Kyle, you've done a bunch this year.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff recently. I did some tape records for a band called Bad Bad Not Good, which is like a jazz band out of Toronto. And I've been working with this guy, Eddie Benjamin, who's from Australia a lot recently. It's been my main thing.
Do you guys travel to like Canada and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
We have been to Canada, yeah.
Yep, Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal.
Yeah.
It's good times up there.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
sometimes.
We might have to wrap this up before Ace wants to join up here. But he's well-behaved kid, Tyler.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you.
Doing well
It's all
back
his
there.
mom.
Hey, lest you think this is just some fly-by-night operation, we've got our principal in the house.
Nice.
Principal of Orem High right there. So she might have a question for you guys too, but she hasn't heard you play, so let's play a song.
I don't know where you are, standing in all those clothes. Tell me where you are tonight. If they make you the way the stars align for you. Started a memory back in the autumn leaves, where the change just like the tides. One brought you in, one pushed you back aside. Caught in the rainfall, feeling your body call. Something to take aside, watching the fire die. Calling from where you were, stone me for saying words. Wasted away my mind tonight, thinking if I could make the stars align for you. Caught in the rainfall, feeling your body call. Something to take aside, watching the fire die. Caught in the rainfall, feeling your body call. Something to take aside, watching the fire die. I might something that I wanted drown inside myself tonight. Something that I wanted drown inside myself. I won't see you, see you, see you, see you.
I want to be sure to save some time for audience questions. In fact, our principal's going wild back there in the back row. So.
Yeah. It will.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do it for the Shazam.
But, you know, let's maybe do the radio drop
Yep.
first. Let's record that. And then we will let our DJs ask some questions because they'll be the ones playing the music.
all right, cool.
So we usually do something like this is Tyler Osmond. You're listening to KOHS, and this next song is, or this is Tyler Osmond from.
Okay. This is Tyler Osmond from Desert Noises, and you're listening to KOHS.
Dang, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna beat that.
Hey, all right, sweet.
Clearly a Nashville musician. We usually we never get that on the first take.
I couldn't have done that.
Which song?
What song do you play on the radio? Oak Tree?
Mr. Brown?
Okay, let's just do Oak Tree, I guess, right?
Sure, sure.
Are you gonna go?
What
What are we gonna say? This is Desert Noises. You're
Sure.
listening to KOHS.
Mhm.
Up next is Oak Tree.
Sure,
That good?
let's do it.
Okay. Hey, this is Desert Noises. You're listening to KOHS. Up next is Oak Tree.
Yeah, let's let you do that. That was great.
That's pretty good. Tyler's got the next
Did
one.
you psych Tyler out there? He was.
I was
was
just
like-
enamored by how well he was doing.
Okay. Yeah, he couldn't jump in. It was nice. I think we got 2 usable drops on
Great.
the first take.
Perfect.
That was good.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, let's see if we have some questions from the audience. Yes, Max.
Do you think you would have dropped out of high school if you could have?
Easy. I was his English teacher.
That is a good
That's
question.
a good question.
At the time, maybe when I was that age, yes. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that I didn't.
100%.
Because sticking something out, no matter what it is a huge lesson in life to learn, I think.
So you said you like wish you weren't as afraid in high school. What was it that pushed you to like actually like pursue music when you were like kind of timid?
I just had a feeling that that's what I was supposed to do. Nothing made me happier than that, or nothing made me feel like I could express who I was inside more than that. And I think in high school it was really hard for me to express who I was, and I finally found something that I could say, this is me, without having to like go and try to talk to somebody, because that was really hard for me.
If you had to choose an instrument, like other than the one that you actually know how to play, if you had to choose a different one, what would you choose?
What would you choose?
I don't know. I would just try it.
Saxophone?
Sax would be fun. Clarinet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in that same vein.
I think like some
That's some
yeah,
reed instrument, because I don't know how to play a reed.
super
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Were there any like specific bands that influenced your guys' sound or like kind of inspired like how you would play and what you like?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that changed over time too.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
definitely changed. I think a lot of my the early thing was Radiohead for me, and then
Modest Mouse.
Modest Mouse, yeah. And right now, the artist that inspires me that's playing music is a guy named McGee.
Oh yeah, nice.
Okay.
Just like a pop artist guy.
Okay, because I'm thinking of some artist who now has the last name McGee.
Oh, gotcha.
Isn't it MKGEE?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, McGee.
Kyle, you just took 3 of your choices. You only have 5 left for the island.
Okay. 5 left.
For the island.
The Beatles, Led Zeppelin. I don't know the other 3. That's really hard. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, early days of playing, 2002, so I was super into like Green Day, Sum 41, Red Hot Chili Peppers, great bass lines and all that stuff too. So I would just come home from school and just play through all the albums on bass, and that taught me how to play bass. And then sort of learn from all those things. Nowadays, it's, I don't know, definitely Radiohead, Modest Mouse, was that era as well. Oh man, I don't know. For the island,
For the island, that's too hard.
J.J. Cale, Troubadour, great album.
Unexpected, but nice.
Yeah.
When you were in Nashville, did you meet any artists that kind of like influenced you, like your music?
Yep, and end up playing with them too, which is awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. I think the biggest one I've toured and played bass in was Cage the Elephant. And see, I filled in on bass with them for a while. I got a tour with Lumineers for 6 months. That was awesome. Mad respect to them. Grace Potter. Where's some other Nashville?
Those are the main ones. I
Those
feel
are big
like.
ones,
Yeah.
Yeah, back there.
What advice would you give to any kid who's trying to start their own band, like in high school?
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Just keep practicing.
Keep playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest thing that holds back local bands from becoming bigger?
fear, probably.
Yeah.
At the end, the thing that holds us all back from a lot of things. You know,
I think in our
dedication.
time too, yeah,
You know,
dedication.
a lot of times things just like aren't fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of work that goes into like getting a reward, I think.
Yeah, touring's hard, especially at the beginning. Yeah, can't tell you how many floors we've slept on in people's houses. You know, that's the amazing thing about it too is there's so many good people out there that took care of us because we opened ourselves up to them. They opened themselves up to us, and it was it's a beautiful thing.
I also think the thing that holds a lot of people back is their idea of what success is.
Yeah.
Success can be in so many different things, is you have to be open to like, maybe it just looks different. Does that make sense?
What would you say is a good way to like combat writer's block?
Don't try too hard. Do something else. I just like think like most of the time just means like your mind is trying to tell you that you need to live life a little bit more or something. You're not ready to tell your story yet.
Probably last question, unless the principal has one. Okay.
What age did you guys like? You knew you guys were like getting like known in music.
What's that?
Like what age did you guys like? What age did you guys like get known like into like the music? Like what age did people start like?
Oh, like noticing us?
Yeah.
Early 20s, maybe like 23, 24. Yeah.
Once we kept touring and stuff, and then we finally got our like an actual booking agency and got put on great tours and were able to get in front of a lot of people, which
Yeah.
was awesome, and actual publicists and yeah. But it's a lot different now. I don't know.
Okay, so you guys, you've seen how talented these guys are. Just imagine with two other people, 1,000 times louder, melting your face off at Velour tonight. So remember the show's tonight at 7, and it's been such a pleasure having you guys here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Round
us.
of
Thank you so
applause for
much.
Desert Noises.
Yeah.